Today I fucked up by putting my best friend through intense emotional turmoil on and off for the last few years. Occasionally, when texting my friends, I'll reply to random messages with incredibly duetty texts. For example, instead of saying yeah man, come over I'll say fo shizzle homie g, skiddy on over to my cribasa stat, you feel dog? FRFR 100% YOLO. I genuinely believed it was all in good fun until today, when I received a call from him crying and very upset at me. My dumbass forgot he was fucking dyslexic. I've been making that poor man's life hell with every stupid text I've sent him. He literally can't fucking read it. He told me he's spent literal hours trying to decipher some of them, and keeps a notebook where he has progressively worked on some of my texts over the last few years. Today, he officially gave up and called me to admit he had no clue what I was saying, and I finally discovered how difficult I was making everyday life for him. BL, Doctor, I'm a forgetful ass who has been sending unreadable texts to my dyslexic friend. Edit, proofreading my texts may also help. This is a mix between incredibly sad, hilarious, and wholesome. Thanks for sharing, bud. I was pretty amused, and I'm definitely going to hell for that. Damn man, you need to hold on to this friend. He really cares about connecting with you. He's the most kind-hearted, passionate person. Not gonna lie, all I could imagine was this guy trying to text Snoop Dogg. He'd have a boat today. I fucked up a mind wall with strings and tacks and everything. Lamau. Netflix, if you're reading this, we all give you permission. Good God. I wanna hug your friend so bad. He kept a notebook. He's a sweet guy. Oh God. I have such second-hand embarrassment and sympathy for the both of you, especially being dyscalcular. I feel that pain. I hope you two had a good laugh over it after a profuse apology. We have lol. He's over here now, pounding beers and stuffing his face with pizza. It's all good lol. Today I fucked up by getting lost and mugged, leading to my rescue by a street vigilante. I'll open with a few disclaimers. Yes, this story is true. No, it did not happen today, but rather, wow, 10 years ago. So, there are many moments where the reader can say, wow, this guy fucked up. But the biggest point was probably when I agreed to get in the vigilante's car. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start from the beginning. I went to law school in a big city. The law school was built blocks from a high crime, low income area. This was done on purpose to allow the law school to help serve this community. I actually did a lot of good work, and I am proud of my time as a law student there helping those in need. But anyway, my subway stop was in the middle of this part of town, and I was totally new to the area. I moved there to go to this school and was not really familiar with the city. I had been driving to the school and parking in a parking deck, but that was getting expensive. So, on this particular day, I took the subway to school. I managed to walk from the subway to my school that morning without too many wrong turns, but later that night, on my way back, I got lost. I suppose I probably looked like quite the target, standing there with my smartphone out staring at a map, clearly lost. Perhaps that is fuck up number one? Regardless, it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise to the reader that I was mugged. Well, mugged might be putting it too simply. Does mugging usually include getting thrown to the ground and kicked in the stomach, back, and face? I don't know, but that's what happened. 3 young men came up from behind me, pushed me to the ground, kicked me, stole my phone, my wallet, and my backpack, which had my laptop in it. So there I was, laying on the sidewalk in the dark, blood dripping down my face, when I hear tires screech to a stop. I look up and see a guy leaning all the way across the passenger seat to talk out the window. Yo bitch. Did you just get jumped? What? Did you just get jumped? Oh, yeah? Shit bitch, get in the car. What? No, get in the car bitch. We gon' get your shit back. I had never seen this man in my life, and he had just called me bitch 3 times. He had a really nice car though. Like, really nice, especially for the area. I seem to recall that it was some sort of Mercedes, with these tricked out spinning rims. I got up, wincing at what I would later learn was a cracked rib, and got in the car. Perhaps that is the second fuck up. Why would I get in his car? Maybe it was because I was young, or wasn't thinking straight, or because his car was nice, or because I really needed to get my laptop back with all of my copious notes on it. I don't know. But seriously kids, don't get in a stranger's car. We take off, and in a few blocks we catch up to these kids that had jumped me. He makes a left turn onto the sidewalk and cuts them off. Yes, really. He then pulls out a gun from under his seat and points it at the kids and yells, "Drop that shit." The kids look completely terrified, drop my backpack, and run. The guy then gets out of his car and gets my backpack for me. It has my laptop, wallet, and phone in it. Oh my god, thank you so much. He starts to drive away. "Can you take me to the hospital?" I ask. "Hell no bitch. You getting out right here." He drives about 3 blocks, back to the nicer area near the law school. I guess he knew that's where a random white kid in his neighborhood belonged. "Please, the hospital is just a few blocks that way. I don't think I can walk." "Hell no. Get the fuck out of my car." What else could I do? I got out of his car and he sped away. I then limped my way to the hospital. I've recounted this story many times over the years, and have come to surmise that my hero was probably a drug dealer. He had seen what happened to me and didn't want the cops crawling around his area, and so instead chose to take matters into his own hands. This is also probably why he didn't want to take me to the hospital. But some part of me wants to believe he was just a quiet, sort of foul-mouthed hero, who wanted to do the right thing. Not all heroes wear capes, some drive cars with spinning rims. Wherever you are, my sweet street vigilante, thanks for helping me get my shit back. Too long didn't read. I got mugged on the way to the subway and a stranger helped this bitch get his shit back. I hope that gangster is sitting on his toilet today reading this post and reminiscing while he laughs and says, "I remember that bitch." Well, that was a wild ride. Those kids probably weren't mugging again anytime soon. XD. If they have any sort of fighting spirit they will. I've fallen off of more roofs than I care to remember, and you can bet your ass I'll be back on a roof again, possibly drunk or on mushrooms, sometime in the near future. You can't let little things like falling from a 2-story roof or possible drug dealer Batman pulling a gun on you keep you from living your dreams. You met Bruce Wayne's illegitimate son driving in his pimped-out Batmobile. He didn't want to take you to the hospital because he didn't want his identity to be revealed. Had a really nice car though. Like, really nice, especially for the area. I seem to recall that it was some sort of Mercedes, with these tricked-out spinning rims. Have come to surmise that my hero was probably a drug dealer. He had seen what happened to me and didn't want the cops crawling around his area, and so instead chose to take matters into his own hands. This is also probably why he didn't want to take me to the hospital. Either this is the reason, or he didn't want a bunch of punk kids mugging people in his turf. Either way, definitely a man that's well acquainted with the criminal underworld. He was just a quiet, sort of foul-mouthed hero. LOL, nicely done. Today I fucked up by forgetting to hook myself up to the Autobelay. I've been indoor rock climbing for the better part of 20 years, and have always been a major believer in safety first. Apparently, however, I had one of the biggest brain farts of my life today. I was climbing as usual, and just had gotten to the top of an easy 5-9 when I pushed off and sat back expecting the Autobelay system to kick in and catch me. Except it didn't. I hadn't even hooked myself up to the system and promptly fell 30 feet onto the floor below. Landed on my left leg and promptly snapped my tibia and fibula. Me being now a former member of the Never Broke a Bone Club, was extremely surprised to see not only my leg bent at a weird angle but bone sticking out through the skin. Thankfully the gym was around the corner from the local hospital and they got me secured and operated on within a few hours. Now comes the hard part of months of physio and time off work. Thank God for Canadian healthcare and excellent work benefits. Too long didn't read. Fell 30 feet while climbing and shattered my left leg. Update with pics. Apparently I got snagged on a rope on my way down that gave me some really nasty rope burn but probably slowed my fall. As for how I'm doing, I was supposed to be discharged yesterday but I can't get up without my oxygen dropping to the 60s. I've also been coughing up some blood. Oh, that's fun. Pic of wrapped leg and burnt leg, and leg being set, some blood if squeamish. Now there's going to be a sign because of you. There most likely already is a huge brightly colored flap that Hop had to climb over to get to the wall. You probably don't need to be told how lucky you are. My partner's dad is a guide and one of his friends died this way. The guy was also a guide with 40+ years climbing experience. Complacency kills when you're climbing. On the plus side, you are in the rather unique club of people who have survived large falls. This is a medium fall. From 30 feet, you're hitting the ground at 30 miles per hour. Not great but definitely survivable, possibly with very minor injuries depending on how you land and what you land on. This story's great. You didn't actually make any errors in your climbing. You just did exactly what you always do and yeeted yourself from the wall. I can't imagine how horrifying and yet oddly hilarious that must have been for onlookers for like 3 seconds before rushing to help. Good luck on the recovery, my guy. Get well. Get back to it. Except for the very small minor error of attaching the safety line. That must have been quite the letdown. Just casually throwing yourself 3 stories to the ground has me laughing pretty hard.